All right, see if we can get Alistair in the room here. Just wait for him to connect. There he is.
How's it going,
Hey, man.
everyone?
Hey, happy I put the AirPods in. I would have looked so much less cooler than you already if I didn't need any other help with that. How are you, man?
Good. Yourself, Jamie? How are we doing?
I'm
Some
doing
glare
great. As
here.
always, we want to say thank you to our friends at Body Armor for bringing us this player Q&A. Without them, we wouldn't get to see Alistair's beautiful mug today. So thanks for that. And Alistair, thank you for joining us. We had to do this a little bit later today because we didn't want to mess with the training schedule. So
Yeah, I
did
don't
you train
think.
today?
Yeah, I don't think Gary would have been too pleased if I told him I was missing training for Q&A on Instagram. I think that would have been a tough one to explain to him. But yeah, we just got back actually. Me and Jack were out there running today. It was a nice little fitness session. Feeling good, feeling tired, enjoying the weather though. It was a beautiful day. A little bit of rain, which was needed, especially when we're out there running around in circles. It felt like for a little bit there, but we got to touch the ball a bit, which was nice. Yeah, just getting to see everyone was good. So, yeah, training was nice. We've been splitting up into groups, so we were the final group. We started at 12:30, so it was a bit of a race back here to get on this, but it all worked out. So we're here.
Well, hopefully I got you out of some fitness. I mean, Gary, hey, I'd love to finish this last set. Jamie
Yeah.
needs me on the Q&A. Actually, if you're ever going to drop out of doing fitness, please don't ever say it was because of me.
Don't
Gary
worry, don't
might
worry. I
call me
got
up
you.
and
I
ask me to
got you.
do it. Thanks, bro. Speaking of which, so you're talking about going out there. I was going to get to it a little bit later, but I think since we have you on the topic right now, going out to training looks a little bit different these days, doesn't it? Oh, it's just cut
Hmm.
off a little bit too big. There's a picture of you putting a mask on.
Yep.
I thought I cropped it down. So you're putting the gloves on. You've got a mask on, getting out to training now. What's it like with this protocol, this new phase, this new world that we're in right now, where you've got to wear gloves out of the car, you got to wear masks. I mean, take us through what the process is like and how different is it?
Obviously, the most noticeable one for onlookers when you're seeing the pictures is just, I mean, the gloves, the mask. Yeah, but for us, the players, that's kind of like the smallest thing I'd say. It's more when you show up actually is that we're all in our own quadrant of the field, which is a bit of a bummer. I mean, especially being a team sport, you want to hit a ball with someone, but you can't even do that. You have to pretty much look at your friends from across the way and be like, all right, I'm going to dribble over here and you stay over that side. So that's kind of been the weirdest part, I'd say. But yeah, no, our team's done a really good job of making sure everyone's safe. Come in, everyone's got to wear gloves. Gotta have your mask on. You bring your own gear pretty much. They sterilize everything down. We show up, get your temperature taken and everything. So it's ran like a pretty tight ship, but it's going well so far. I mean, we're all definitely looking forward to getting into phase two, I'd say, once we can start working in small groups because it's one thing being on the same field as someone. It's another feeling actually able to pass the ball with them and do some drills. So I know everyone's kind of chomping at the bit to get back to that part, but I think we've made progress. It's good what's going on. I mean, safety's got to be the top priority still at this point, and going into the future. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing so far. And I mean, yeah, the guys are super excited just to be back at the facility has been great. You can tell the morale's high. Everyone getting to see each other again on a daily basis has been nice. So yeah, I mean, everyone's just really looking forward to taking the next steps.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think what a little over a month ago, you did a video for the club that we put up on Facebook. It was how are you staying fit? And it was you just with the Boost Fit Club
Yeah.
supplies and the bike. And it was just like, a month ago, if somebody would have said, hey, we'll open it up to the training facilities and you can only kick a soccer ball by yourself in different quadrants, I'm sure a month ago you'd have been like, done,
Yeah.
sign me up, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, baby steps, right? We're getting there, and we've jumped kind of to the latest part of your story. Let's
Hmm.
wind it back here. Let's take it back kind of earlier days for you, how you got to this point and everything like that. First of all, if you're in the comment section, say hello, give us an emoji, give us a thumbs up, let us know where you're watching from. Put a question in the Q&A. Because we got a lot of questions
Yeah, I can
to ask
imagine.
you coming up, and a lot of them I don't know if we'll make the cut because let's just say your friends got a hold of the Q&A
Oh,
section and
no,
there's
no,
some
no.
good stuff in there.
Thank
So before we
goodness.
get to this point, before you're the 11th overall draft pick for Nashville
Hmm.
SC this year and the club's expansion year in Major League Soccer, you had a little bit different of a college experience than most in the fact that you started at one place, you ended at another. Let's talk a little bit about that. You started out at St. John's your first 2 years there. How was that experience? And then ultimately, what led you to making the transfer to Wake Forest?
So I was really young going into college, I'd say. Most guys, especially in America, you kind of graduate and you're going into your freshman year, 18, 19 years old. I mean, a lot of the guys got from Europe were 20 when they came up for the freshman year. So I was only 17 going in. So I wasn't highly recruited necessarily. I was a bit younger, smaller. So St. John's was a good fit for me. It was a place where I was going to be able to play right from the get-go. And I'll tell you what, living in New York City, in a soccer house on my own as a 17-year-old in a different country, it taught you quite a few things. You had to grow up pretty quick. I mean, we were in Jamaica, Queens. So I mean, tons of fun, learned a lot, met a lot of great people there. And at the end of the day, I got to play soccer right from the get-go. And also a different one for our fans that I actually was a center mid there for my 2 years. And I played center mid my entire life growing up, and I was recruited as a center mid and everything. So I was playing center mid there, had a couple of really good years, and then it was kind of, I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I think I kind of want to take that next step. For my mom, academics was always a really big thing. I've really been highly pushed in my family. I mean, my older brother is an engineering physicist, so I was always trying to like catch up to him. I never really could do it. You know, I always pushed the jock thing a little harder. So I was always kind of, let's try my best. So once it got to that point, I was like, you know what, I kind of want a new challenge. And once Wake Forest kind of came calling, it made a lot of sense to go play in the ACC, which for many of you guys don't know is the best soccer conference in the country. So it was a great place to go out and really kind of see where I fit in. So I went to Wake, I transferred there. It was an interesting process. It's not like it is now. So now the transfer portal where you pretty much just put your name in and all the coach can see. It was a lot different back then. You had to get individual releases to each school. So that was a bit of a tense time. I remember that Christmas time wasn't a lot of fun for my family. They were a little worried about where I was going to end up. But then I ended up making it to Wake Forest down in North Carolina. I tell you what, it was tough. Once I got used to that weather, I knew it was that kind of latitude was somewhere I wanted to be along. So Nashville kind of hit the spot with that. But yeah, at Wake, so I went there as well as a center mid. My junior year, we had a great team. We kind of had almost a trident in the midfield. Another guy who was my center mid partner, Joey Desart, he got drafted this year as well. He's with Orlando. Brad Dunwell went the year before. So we had a really good team that year. I mean, that midfield was unbelievable. So going into my senior year, actually, we had an injury at right back. And it'd always been something that kind of been floated by me, is that potentially at the next level, you could see me as right back. So I was like, you know what? Okay, like, let's see it. So preseason this past year, so this would have been August, so not too long ago, actually, they just threw me at right back for one of the practices without kind of telling me or giving me a heads up. And apparently I played pretty well out there. And our coaches were like, okay, I think that's where he belongs.
We're on to something here.
We're on to something here. They were like, okay, I think we might have a little cheat code going on back here. The white boy can run a little bit. Let's see what he's got. So they kind of just threw me out there and let me go. So this year was it was interesting. I mean, that was my first time ever playing right back competitively, obviously. So it was my first game. Everyone's kind of expecting. I mean, you're expected to win games. And I'm like, I just need to learn how to defend 1v1, first of all. I don't even know when I'm going to take someone on. So that was a kind of a weird, for me, like in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, let's take it step by step. I want to be the best right back in the conference, and I want to be the best right back in the country, and like see where it went from that. But I thought it was interesting just because getting drafted was never really, it was always something I wanted to play pro. Obviously that's everyone's aspirations, especially when you're playing college soccer. But for me, it was never like in the forefront. It was always kind of smaller, shorter term goals, I'd say. So once we made it to the Final Four. We had a great year, tons of fun. I actually scored in the Elite Eight to help us get to the Final Four, which is probably my crowning achievement, scoring a goal, a big goal like that. So that was a pretty cool one. And then I remember I was going onto the bus and my coach pulled me over and he's like, if you're not a top 15 pick after that, I don't know what these coaches are looking at. And I was like, I'm gonna get picked. I was like, what? It was so 15. Confused. I was like, what? I don't even know there's even talks of me even getting picked. So that was a pretty cool moment once I realized, and I've been invited to the combine and stuff. So that was pretty cool. But I'll tell you what, it was a whirlwind. My college experience, I know I spent 3.5 years in college, but wow, it went by really quick. And I think that's what I'd say to just pretty much anyone that's in college soccer is enjoy it, because it's going to go by fast. And all of a sudden now I'm looking back on it. I'm 21, living in a different city, still in a different country. And I mean, wow, a lot happened.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. And Wake Forest is one of the most well-respected programs in the country, as well as St. John's. It's actually a little bit of worlds collide for me. My first college, I went to UNC, and my first college goal was on the Wake Forest field against St. John's in a
Look
preseason
at that.
tournament. So I know,
Look at
right? I
that.
just it's 3. So a little bit before your time. You I don't even know if you were born then, were you? Jeez. Okay, sorry.
There we go. I
I've
think we're back.
let's see if we can get this Wi-Fi sorted here. All right.
There we go.
I've got Sprint, so that's my bad there.
Name's Paul.
Yeah, so you're in the ACC, you're playing there. You have this kind of transformation in your career to outside back, and then next thing you know, draft day is happening. You just kind of get told you think you could be in the top 15, and then the
Hmm.
11th pick rolls around, and Nashville makes a trade. He gives up 75,000 allocation money, and they go after you. Two-part question here. What does that moment feel like to get drafted? For those that will never get a chance to experience that, what's that feeling like seeing it? And then also to know that the club gave up assets to get you. I mean, that it wasn't just because it was their turn; they sought
Hmm.
you out.
Hmm. So first of all, let's just start on the draft day part. Draft day for everyone else watching. I'm a huge draft day fan. I mean, big NFL guy. I'm a Cowboys fan. So watching any of
Me
that, same
too.
with the NBA, Cowboys, there we go, Cowboy Nation. And also like any sport, NBA, Toronto Raptors fan here, obviously, but loving it. As a fan, watching the draft is so much fun. As a player, oh my goodness, it is a miserable day. Like you're excited, but you are just sitting there sweating bullets because all it takes is one person to take you, and you don't know. You could be going to Montreal, you could be going to San Jose, you could be anywhere pretty much on the continent, just depending on a pick, just depending
Your
on any little
life
thing.
trajectory is
Yeah.
going
Oh my
ever which
goodness. Yeah.
way by each pick, and you're like, I don't want to live
Exactly.
there. Like,
See,
pick me. I'd live
exactly.
there. Yeah.
And so all of these things, and the crazy part is that every single pick comes up, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this team's drafting. Like then you kind of picture yourself like, oh, that could potentially happen. And they take someone else, and then you're on to the next team. Like that could happen. So that was the craziest part about Nashville is that I never like once I saw the mock drafts and I kind of got a feeling for where I was going to go. Nashville never really seemed like a possibility for me just because they were drafting number 2 overall, where they're going to select my roommate Jack Mayer, and then they were going to select at the beginning of the second round. And like I was pretty sure that from what I've been told that I wasn't going to slide that far. So it never really occurred to me to even really think about Nashville. I mean, if I did, it would have been one of my top choices for sure. So I mean, I was sitting there sweating bullets, trying to see what was going to happen, and all of a sudden a trade comes in. And the funniest part is that we got a guy. So we had a camera crew in my house doing it from the MLS sent it up. So they had all the scarves lined up. So pretty much it'd be 1 through all the way so that once that pick happened, they take that scarf away. And then if that one, so I was looking at him because I knew he had an AirPod in as well, and he was getting the info a little bit before me. So I was looking, it's like, all right, Montreal's on the clock, and they were doing some weird things. And all of a sudden, like I see the guy from the MLS, and he's switching the scarf out, and I'm seeing like a dark, it looked like a navy and gold one. I was like, wait, what's going on right now? Like Columbus
Like
isn't
that
picking,
one up
and
there.
I don't. Yeah, it was that one. I was like, and I couldn't really see. I just saw it on the periphery. I was like, what color is that? Is that Columbus? Is that Nashville? What's going on right now? Like, did someone make a trade? And all of a sudden, my agent gave me the phone, and he said it was Mike Jacobs calling, our GM, and I was like, oh my goodness, like that's gonna happen. So it was. I mean, it was crazy relief. It's relief. It's excitement. It's all kind of bundled into one. I think it kind of puts in perspective when you're there with your family, and you could just see the joy in their faces, like how excited they are for you. It was one of those ones, yeah, again, a whirlwind of a day, crazy, filled with emotions. And to show, yeah, again, them trading something to come get me, I mean, it shows their kind of desire and how they valued me. And I think that's, as a player, that's what you want to feel, obviously, is you want to feel valued. So that was a really nice touch to know that it was someone they were actively pursuing was me. So again, yeah, I mean, once I saw that and I saw that they were willing to go out of their way to go and try and get me, it made a world of a difference, I'd say.
That's so cool, and it's funny because you're talking about this different experiences. We're seeing people join the chat, like Dane St. Clair, Canada
Yeah,
flags
my
flying
boy.
in the comments section. We've had some other people pop in. Saw Tanner Dietrich in there as well.
Yeah.
Say hello, get your questions in. We're going to start firing some of these off here in just a second. But
Alrighty.
the NFL got a lot of publicity for doing a virtual draft,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it kind of flew under the radar. MLS did that this year. So you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned it briefly. I wanted to just dive a little bit deeper into that because I think that it's so unique to get your perspective as a potential draft pick on the day. What did you know about this virtual draft? How did it kind of go? You alluded to it with the different scarves moving and someone being there, but how did it all go down? And what was that day like that that kind of untold
Hmm.
story that nobody really knows about, from the setup process to when it happens, then how are you doing interviews, and just from somebody that got to experience, what was that like?
All right. Well, first of all, the difference between ours and the NFL draft, I mean, yeah, the only thing was the NFL, like you could barely have anyone there. So for me, it was pretty cool because the MLS said, all right, we're going to come to your house and we're going to pretty much host a little party for you. I was like, sweet, like all my friends, let's go, come on over, we'll have a great time. Well, there's a little bit like everyone's keeping the 6 feet distance. It's just like your mom and your dad. So mine was a little more of a party than theirs, which I'd say happy for. Um, but yeah, the draft, I mean, the story, they came up. They actually shot a whole little video on me. They actually did it with Jack too, which was really cool. But the whole day, I mean, setting it all up, and I think you kind of really understand what's going on. Like the couple of days leading up, you're excited for it, but you're not really 100% sure how you're going to feel, like how big it truly is until like, all right, all of a sudden I got like a whole ESPN camera crew in my basement setting up cameras. You're like, oh my goodness. I mean, my parents were the ones, like my mom was going like, she was like, what's going on here? Like, is this for real? Like they need like all these lights, all these cameras, like different angles and stuff. They're like, wait, do we need to be dressed up? I'm like, I mean, kind of. I mean, you do what you
Maybe.
want.
Yeah.
So yeah, the draft. I mean, yeah, behind the scenes, it was definitely crazier. I think they did a really good job with how it flowed really smoothly. And honestly, I thought it's pretty cool doing it like that virtually because you actually get to be with your family. I mean, you saw Dane in there. He was drafted the year before, and he got to go up on the stage, and I know that was a really cool thing for all those guys, especially those guys being from my club as well back home in Canada. So it was a pretty big thing for us getting those players to go honestly across the stage and going to give a speech is obviously sweet, but at the same time, trading it to have your family right there and getting to do it in the comforts of your home it wasn't that bad either. I thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it being able to celebrate that with my family and friends. So honestly, it was a pretty good experience either way. I don't think there should be any hate towards the virtual draft or like maybe it's better this way or that way. I think they each have their pros. So I think it just depends on what you're doing. And at the end of the day, like you're getting drafted, I couldn't care less if they faxed it to me where I got drafted to. At the end of the day, that's what it is. So.
That's so cool to hear, and I think it might be something that we look to see in the future because yeah, like you said, the year before you, everyone's going up on stage giving
Mhm.
a heartfelt speech. Some of the speeches are too long. Some of them you're saying, "Kids, stop talking, get off the stage."
Yeah,
We got to keep this
exactly.
thing going. And with
Exactly.
you, you get to be there with the people that mean the most. So
Yeah, exactly.
really cool to get a chance to hear from you how it went, and we're happy that obviously works out you here in Nashville. We asked people leading up to this to send in questions via Instagram. And
Here we go.
I mean, by the way, I've been a host of this for about 6 to 8 weeks now that we've been doing these
Hmm.
player questions and answers presented by Body Armor. This one by far wins for having the most friends drop into the DMs and say some of the most hilarious and clearly inappropriate questions. So
Good, good.
you are very well liked. Um, we'll start off with one that is very mild from somebody
Here
we
we
know
go.
well, from Jeff. You mentioned his name is a couple of times. You mentioned the number 2 pick overall,
Yeah.
Jack Mayer. What's it like to be roommates with Jack? And I'm guessing Jeff asked this question because he knows you know some good stories. So let us know what you know.
Well, I mean, there's so many things I go with Jack. I'll try and keep it as PG as possible. With Jack, you pretty much almost need another fridge just solely for the milk. I don't know if everyone's heard about this, but his nickname I've given him and the older guys have given him is the Milkman because he just pounds through it. It's unbelievable. You should see our recycling. It's just filled with 2-gallon things of milk. 2% all the time. Drinks it when he's happy, drinks it when he's sad. I tell you what, it's impressive. It's impressive. He lives on strictly a diet of milk and water. So I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of fun living with him. I mean, he's super, super nice guy. We have a good time. I mean, we have game nights all the time at our place. We're pretty competitive, both of us. So he won the Monopoly last time, so I got to get him back tonight. I think we're gonna go Settlers of Catan. So I got to
Great game.
show him how it's done in that. So hopefully I'll get the W there. But honestly, we have a good time. He's not too messy. He's not too dirty. He's pretty quiet as well. I was trying to get him to come out on here, but he's hiding. He was trying to be shy and everything. He's like, no, Alistair, they just
Tell him
want
to
to see
come
you.
on.
I
Give
know,
him a
I've been
shout.
trying.
Tell
Jack,
him you're done with it, and then be like, "Hey, just kidding. We're on live."
yeah, Jack, we're done. Jack, we're done. If you want to come out now.
Let's see if we
He's
can
about
get
to
him.
call him. He said, no, he says he's on here right now.
Oh, he's watching us. All
Jack,
right.
the people want you, I think. But no, he's been a good roommate. He's been a lot of fun to live with for sure.
That's awesome. And you know what's so funny is one of the questions that we got in here, I thought there's no chance I'm going to figure out a way in which we can work this in because it just doesn't make sense. But here we are because you brought it up. If you could have to play one board game for the rest of your life, which is it? I have no idea. Oh, there's Jack
Oof.
in the comment section. Jack, if you come out and chat with us on live, we'll talk about the buzz cut for
Yeah,
Alistair.
Jack, you got to
If
come
you
out
don't,
here.
we're not mentioning it. So somehow this works. Somehow this plays. We get this question
Wow.
in
Okay.
seamlessly. What's the one board game that you could play for the rest of your life if you had to?
Jack wants the Monopoly because he's pretty good at that. Tell you what, he was good at Monopoly just because he drives a very strict bargain. I mean, I was giving him a very good deal, and he would counter with, "No, I want that single property for $1,000 or something crazy." So if I have to play with Jack, definitely not Monopoly. Oof. What's the game? I mean, Settlers of Catan is obviously a classic. I'd probably go with that, to be honest. I mean, that's a pretty good one. Our family gets into it pretty good. Play that one online as well. I'd probably go with Settlers, I'd say, yeah.
That's a good game, and
choice,
we had a very active Jack in the comment section here. But you know what? We're not acknowledging him until he comes out and he shows his face on live. I mean, I'm just saying, if he's the number 2 pick overall, if we haven't gotten a chance to have him on here yet, but he wants to drop by the comments and he doesn't want to drop by 10 feet for his roommate.
It's poor form.
I think it's disrespectful to you and to me, but that's fine, Jack.
Yeah.
If you want to continue to be disrespectful,
Yeah,
and not
no,
come on,
you keep
that's
doing you,
totally up
Jack.
to him.
Keep doing you, Jack. No more milk for you. Pour down the drain.
Cut off his milk. Hide his milk
Yeah.
if he's not going to come on.
I will hide his milk for sure.
So we'll start firing off some of these funny questions. I'm pretty sure this is probably the answer you're going to say. Best answer you know from a guy named William, I believe. So
Best answer I know.
I
wonder if that was William Valtos, because I think he probably wants me to say him. Best answer I know. I'll keep it on the team right now. I think you got to go Beccolino just because he's just got something to him. He's got that. I mean, that's the easy answer. I feel like Beccolino's definitely got something in there. And I think a sneaky shout. I think Walker Zimmerman could maybe throw it down a little bit. I think he could get a little. I think he could get a little head bob in action. You know, I think he'd snap his fingers a little bit, have a little bit of that white boy rhythm. You know, I think he's got a little bit of something hiding in there. So I'd probably go one of them two. Best answer.
That works. All right, that plays.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. We'll go which one of your friends is the best at Fortnite? We'll go your friends and then best at Fortnite on the team.
My friends, you see, I play with a couple different groups. I'm definitely not the top player, so we're normally my nickname is B&B. Yeah, I'm bantering bandages. Bantering bandages, because I'm literally just there to bring the morale up of the team, and I carry around the bandages, so whenever everyone gets knocked out, I can pick them up and help them out. That's pretty much my job. I have to say the best player I've played with is definitely a guy that was from Wake Forest, one of my teammates, Eddie Folds. He's unbelievable. I've never seen anyone build faster than him. And on the team, I mean, again, Walker's really good. Jack's pretty good, actually. I'll give him credit. I mean, Walker streams, though, so that's got to count for something. If he's on Twitch, I'm thinking there's got to be something going on there that's a little bit better than the average Joe. So I'm going to have to go with Walker, I'd say, from the team. It's a bummer.
Okay.
He's going to like that too much, yeah.
I know. Well, we can't give Jack any credit because he won't. He's social distancing from friendship with us. So he's not going to.
Yeah, that's true. That's
not
true.
going to give that love. Here's a question for you, and I know you've been here a couple of months. Everything's been kind of shut down, closed down with quarantine. But your favorite part about Nashville?
Ooh, wow.
What do you like?
It's a loaded one.
Do you have I know we'll try to narrow it down because it's so vague. And how do you like sit there and just say one thing and then you're missing out like another thing you may like? Maybe like a favorite restaurant or a favorite place you've been so far, like maybe a favorite park, or is it just been the weather because it's like perfect here? I don't know. I mean, your favorite part about Nashville?
Weather's been really good. First night I slept in my apartment, though, we had a tornado. Very scary. I woke up in the middle of the night. It was really windy outside my window, and I was like, wow, I guess I'm just going to have to get used to this living in an apartment. You know, maybe it's a little windier up here. Turns out I woke up, we had a tornado. I was like, oh, my goodness. Hope everyone's okay after that one. Yeah, but I think my favorite part so far, yeah, that was devastating. Oh, my goodness. Only starting to see really now the recovery from it, which is nice. But I'd probably say my favorite part, I like the size of it a lot. The weather's been great, but like the parks that they're so close to here, like Percy Warner. I mean, they have this 6 mile loop, which we go and jog all the time, which is just great. I mean, it's like that. It's that really nice size, but it's still a big city, where you can feel like the liveliness of it and the energy around during the nighttime. I mean, even now with the whole pandemic, you can still feel it. But I'd probably say, yeah, the size and the weather. I mean, you're not too far away from anything, it ever feels like, but it's also not a small city. So I think that's been a lot of fun with it
Yeah.
for sure.
No, I totally
Hmm.
agree. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever lived, and
Hmm.
it's yeah, you're echoing everything you're saying. I'm like, yeah, as a new resident too, right? I mean, I'm like, I get why everybody loves
Yeah.
this place and why it has the reputation it does, and
Hmm.
it's just exceeding it day in and day out. We'll
Hmm.
go one more for you here. By the way, there's a lot more in here that we can't ask. Thank you for submitting them. There was zero chance we're going to answer a lot of these. Let's see. This is one. Favorite sport other than soccer, and I'll also open it up afterwards. I got a
Oof.
follow up that's a little bit different, but kind of your favorite thing other than soccer. So let's go first. Your
Okay.
favorite sport other than soccer.
Um, well, I can take this two ways. Favorite sport to kind of watch other than soccer would be basketball. Big
Okay.
NBA guy. I mean, NFL's close though too. It's a tough one. I'd probably go basketball though. To play, unfortunately, I'm only 5'11", and that's definitely hindered me in my basketball career. Um, I would probably go tennis. I'd probably say is my favorite one to play, even though my girlfriend plays tennis and she's really good at it. So for me, playing against her isn't that much fun.
It's a
Um,
workout. She's just working you.
yeah, exactly. I'm just running, doing doggies from side to side, trying to keep up.
It's good
But I'd
fitness.
probably say, yeah, tennis is probably my favorite to play. And if I was to play another sport other than soccer, when I was growing up, people say I have the body of a swimmer. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I probably would have played tennis or swimming, I'd say, looking at it in hindsight, what I would have tried to do other than soccer.
Yeah, and then the thing that I was going to ask you off of that, it's not a sport, but maybe your favorite other thing to do. You mentioned that MLS came out and did a piece on you before.
Hmm.
You're an artist, man, an exceptional artist.
Yeah.
So is that your favorite thing to do away from sports? Would you say is it painting, coloring? What would not I'm not like coloring like I
Not
color with
painting,
my
that's
four and
for
a half
sure.
year
Yeah,
old.
yeah. I
What
mean, yeah, I like to draw. I'm definitely
draw,
more of a
sketch?
pencil kind of person. Yeah, sketching, painting for me and a paintbrush don't go very well together. We've had some fights in the past. Not great with that, but definitely drawing. I mean, it's like everyone. We play soccer because you can take your mind off things. You're kind of in your own world, and it's the same with me and art. It's just all of a sudden you look down at your clock, and I mean, it's been 2 hours or something. And I think that's a really nice part about doing art is you kind of get lost in your own trance. And I mean, that's definitely one of my favorite hobbies to do. That I've been picking up meditation thanks to our assistant coach Steve Guppy. He's been getting me on that. Some yoga, some meditation. Trying to keep reading, doing lots of that kind of things to stay busy. But I'd probably say art's still my favorite hobby outside of soccer.
There we go. That was a really cool video and really touching
Hmm.
tribute with your grandma and passing
Thank
and
you.
that I thought that was really really amazing. So I was a fan of yours watching that come out even before the draft, and then when the Nashville thing happened, I was like, yeah, this kid's all
There
right.
we
He's
go.
gonna be okay,
Thank you.
man. It's pretty cool. Look, I know we're kind of right at the cutoff here with timing, so I want to say thank you very much for having us. Being with us here today, taking the time out of your busy schedule, rushing back from training to be
Of
here for
course.
it. We appreciate it. Thank you again to our good friends at Body Armor for presenting this, the Q&A each and every week here on Instagram Live. I always like to leave our guests with the last word. So you can take it whichever way you want. You can use it to make fun of Jack for not coming out of his room to join us. It could be a message to the fans. Anything you want. The floor is yours. I'll let you give us the last word here.
Alrighty. Well, I know this has been tough. This whole pandemic, staying inside isn't the best for everyone. I know that. We're almost there. We're getting close to the end. Trust me, we want it just as bad as everyone else. We want to get back to playing games. Just want to thank everyone for staying with us. The sport's been unbelievable. I know it's tough when you don't have sports. There's not been nothing to watch, and I know everyone wants to see us get back to playing, and there's no one that wants to get back to playing more than us. So just stick with it. Stay with us. Keep supporting. We appreciate you guys, and looking forward to getting back on the field and hopefully kicking a soccer ball soon. But for now, everyone just stay safe, and the time will come. The time will come for sure.
There we go. That's Alistair Johnston right there, the number 11 pick overall for Nashville SC. We are so grateful for you joining us. good luck. Go beat Jack in some board games tonight for joining us. Give us a hard time and tell him he owes us a player Q&A here coming up soon. Okay.
I will.
Hey,
appreciate it, Jamie.
Hey,
Thanks,
stay
guys.
safe. Keep up the good work, man. And we'll see you soon, hopefully. And thank you very much to everybody for joining us. Thank you to our good friends at Body Armor for this week's player Q&A, being a sponsor for that. And we will see you all soon. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.
See you guys.